When we think of cybersecurity, we usually picture massive data centers and complex algorithms. But the most devastating threats we face today no longer attack computer networks directly. They target human psychology. Modern threat actors routinely bypass military-grade firewalls without writing a single line of malicious code. Instead, they manipulate users into providing the authorization needed to enter. This practice is called social engineering, the use of psychological manipulation to trick targets into performing specific actions. Pioneers of the field, like Kevin Mitnick, demonstrated that a well-crafted lie was often more effective than any brute force software. Billion-dollar security architectures are rendered useless if the human operator can be coerced into undermining the system's own defenses. The first step of a modern digital con is reconnaissance. To lower a victim's natural defenses, the attacker must create a disguise that mimics a trusted authority. Threat actors achieve this by cloning the digital presence of trusted institutions. They meticulously copy the branding, email formats, and official tone of organizations like the World Health Organization to create a false context of legitimacy. These cloned environments look structurally identical to the real ones. They use identical fonts and official emblems, making it difficult for an average user to distinguish a counterfeit portal from a legitimate one. If an attacker can flawlessly replicate digital reality, the victim will proceed with a login attempt without ever suspecting they have left a secure network. Once the disguise is in place, the attacker uses fear appeals. These are messages designed to trigger immediate anxiety, which suppresses a person's ability to think critically. By creating an artificial ticking clock, like a warning that an account will be deactivated in 1 hour, the attacker triggers a biological fight or flight response. This stress forces the brain to prioritize speed over accuracy. Hackers leverage real-world crises to amplify this panic. During the height of global lockdowns, attackers used pandemic lures, like fake vaccination registration links, to exploit public health anxieties. In this state of heightened concern, a user is likely to abandon standard security protocols, such as verifying a sender's identity, in a rush to resolve the perceived crisis. Fear overrides logical analysis. It can turn highly trained employees into active participants in a breach against their own employer. The moment of compromise occurs when a user enters their login information into the counterfeit portal. They believe they are resolving a security issue, but are actually feeding data to an attacker. This is the mechanism of a credential harvesting attack. The fake portal captures the username and password in real time, sending them directly to an attacker's database in plain text. This chart shows the revenue generated by the Genesis market, a criminal platform that traded in millions of stolen digital identities. By 2023, the market's annual value had reached $567 million. With valid credentials, the attacker no longer needs to use specialized tools to bypass network defenses. They can simply log in as an authorized user. A single stolen password allows an attacker to operate from the inside of a network, often remaining undetected because they appear to be a legitimate employee. In the world of cybersecurity, human psychology is considered unpatchable. Unlike a server or a database, a person cannot be given a software update to prevent them from being deceived. Automated security tools are often blind to these attacks. If an attacker uses a legitimate username and password, the system sees no reason to block the connection. This creates a paradox. If passwords can be stolen or given away under stress, the password itself becomes the primary vulnerability of the system. The most effective way to secure a network is to make human deception irrelevant to the technical success of an attack. Multi-factor authentication, or MFA, provides a structural solution. It adds a physical requirement to the login process that cannot be replicated through social engineering. MFA separates access into a knowledge factor, like a password, and a physical possession factor, like a hardware key. Even if an employee provides their password, the remote attacker is blocked. They cannot complete the login because the physical token is not present. A psychological exploit can trick the mind, but it cannot overcome the physical distance between the attacker and the required hardware token. Social engineering depends on a human error to grant access. While passwords rely on a user's ability to keep a secret, hardware keys provide a physical barrier that psychological manipulation cannot overcome. They remain the last line of defense for the human element of any network.